Hi guys, this is Sam Pierce. I'm OneSimpleMan. Thank you for watching this week's video. Uh, First off, I want to apologize for my voice and the huge amount of coughing that's probably going to go on during this video. I've got some kind of allergy problem, and it's starting to get kind of old. But we'll try to see if I can get through this. This week, I'm going to talk about temptation and how we should handle it, what we need to know about it. We're going to be coming from 1 Corinthians 10, 1 through 13, mostly looking at verse 13. We're probably going to be in 1 Corinthians for a while, 1 and 2 Corinthians. Like I mentioned in last week's video, which if you haven't seen those, check them out. We had a 3-part series on love, shown by 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I've been reading through a really great commentary on 1 and 2 Corinthians, and I may be pulling a lot of stuff out of that. But we'll jump around a little bit, see what we can find elsewhere later on. So anyway, excuse me. And I'm going to try to read all this. Like I said, I don't know if my voice will make it through, but we'll see. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you would be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. And this is the key verse I want to look at here. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. Excuse me. Now, we start the chapter off with a list of some of the things that the people of Israel in the Old Testament went through in the desert. And as it points out, they were recorded and passed down as an example for us. They were tempted, many different things that it lists over here, tempted by idols, sexual sin, abuse of God's mercy, and complaining. And those are things that we still deal with. You know, we may not have, golden statues in our homes that we worship, but anything that you put in front of your relationship with God can be an idol. This goes back to a couple weeks ago. We talked about how our forms of entertainment can interfere with our relationship with God. Excuse me. That can be a way for, movies, video games, TV, whatever, to become an idol, is doing that. And that's something that we all deal with. And the sexual sin, of course, we're all human. That's something that affects every one of us, and we know how we're supposed to act. But it's always something that we're tempted with. And the abuse of God's mercy in verse 9, it says, neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. The modern application of that would be, we know that because of Jesus' sacrifice for us, we've been given grace, and that when we mess up, we have a way to make things right. But it is possible to abuse that, and to think that we can just do whatever we want and get away with it because of that grace. And that's something that can be a temptation for us. We can go ahead and think, well, I don't have to fight this that hard. I mean, I can go ahead and do this. It'll be okay. And it's not right. Sorry. Complaining is another thing in here. Now, I'm not going to make the obvious joke here about Jews being known for complaining, but we, as Christians and Gentiles, everyone, we all can be tempted, if we're having a bad day, to just complain and whine about it. And all we're really looking for there is attention. Someone to say, "Oh, poor baby, I'm so sorry you feel bad." And there's no need for that. We're supposed to be the ones encouraging others and lifting them up, not whining so that they can make us feel better. Now, everyone, like I said, goes through these temptations, and it even and where am I looking? In verse 13, it says, "There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man." Everything that we're tempted with, that we come up against like that, it's not some new thing that we're the only person who's ever had to deal with. Every human who has ever lived has come up against this temptation, and even more so the ones who choose to follow God and obey His word. So we shouldn't think that there's absolutely no way out of this stuff, because people have been facing this for centuries and found ways out of it. And like it says in verse 13, God always gives us a way out of temptation. Now this excuse me, the word used for temptation here also means like a trial, a test. It's not. There's a difference between some of these temptations and just our normal, I guess the word would be opportunities to sin. The word used for temptation here also means test. Something that is given to us not to tear us down, but to build us up, make us stronger. It's kind of like working out at the gym. It's you don't necessarily, just for the fun of it, sit there and lift heavy things, but you do it for the results that it's going to bring. You're going to be able to lift more, muscles will grow, things like that. And that's the same sort of principle we have here. It's a way to grow our spiritual muscle. And God always will provide a way out of these temptations. And actually, really interesting thing is the word that is translated there as the phrase "a way out" is, how I am for butchering Greek words. We're going to try this. Is ekbasis something? I don't know. I'll have an annotation here. You can read it for yourself. Which means not necessarily just an exit, but the image it gives is a defile or a mountain pass, in a small narrow valley. Looks like there's no way out, and then you see an opening you can get through. And that's something I can kind of relate to. I go hiking a lot, and I have this habit, probably a bad habit, kids don't do this at home, of going off the trail and just looking around, see what I can find. And I've found some really interesting views and great stuff that way. But a couple times there have been excuse me, there have been times where I've done that and found myself in a situation where I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get out of the hole or side of a cliff that I was on. But the thing that I always knew in that situation, A, God was with me. If I'm going to fall off this mountain and die doing something stupid, then I'm taken care of. And B, that other people have. It's not like I'm the first person to be in this position. Other people have been here too. They found a way out. There's got to be something, and there's always been a way for me to get out of it. And it gives you, even in the physical sense, those hiking situations, that gave me a better understanding of where I should and shouldn't go on these mountains that I'm on, and what is in these certain places. And the spiritual equivalent gives us the the same kind of experience there. When I say that these things are to grow our strength, this isn't necessarily just our own bullheadedness and ability to plow through a temptation. It's our knowledge that God has given us a way out, and that if we just listen, He's going to tell us what to do. And the strength, I guess, can be equated to the ability to hear Him and to know His will in each situation. And it's possible to get to a point where, when the temptations that used to just kind of beat you into a corner, and you would know you weren't supposed to do the things that you did, but you did them anyway because you didn't think you had a choice. It's possible to come to a point where, when that stuff comes up, you can just blow it off. It's nothing anymore, because you've learned that God will not test us above what we're able to take, and He will always give us a way out of these situations. And that's, sorry for all the coughing and the stops and everything. It's kind of a shorter video, but that's all I have for today. And just remember that no matter what you come across, there's always going to be a way out. If it's a test, if it's a temptation, and if not, you can always rely on God to get you through it. He will give you the strength to get you out. I didn't forget, the media recommendation this week is Impossible by Manifest. It's a really great song. It gives a really good illustration of what we talked about this week, that no situation is impossible as long as we are serving God and have Him on our side. But I also want to recommend a YouTube channel that a friend of mine, Michelle Kiesling, had just started. It's called Princess Power. It's mostly aimed towards young women, to show them who they are and what they can do in Christ. But knowing Michelle, there's going to be stuff in there that everyone can use. And I really urge you guys to go check out her channel. I'll have a link down in the description below. Go check it out, subscribe, watch the videos she has up, and just, support her. Until next week, this is Sam Pierce. I'm one simple man serving an awesome God. Thanks, guys.